What it do? Welcome back to FL Studios Simple Tutorials. Today I'm answering a comment that somebody had left on a previous video. Shout out to you. So we're gonna go over vocals with attack, sustain, and how the threshold gets affected. So we have some vocals here.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said rounds come from Spain, but the aim comes from heaven.
All right, so let's check it out.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson.
So right now I have insert 6 routed through insert 7 going to the master. And I did that just so I can add some extra effects to insert 7 and never did it, just left it. But we're going to go back here to insert 6. We'll check out the compressor. We'll see what we got so far.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend.
Now I'm going to put an image up at this time marker so you can see the ASDR chart. So attack is about timing. Attack is how fast the input can reach maximum volume. So if you're typing a note, it'll be how fast that note reaches full volume. And then when it comes to vocals, it'll be from the first sound that your voice is made and registered, how fast does it get to max volume? And so I'll show you what that would be.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said round.
So at 400 milliseconds, it's going to take 400 milliseconds for the trigger of the sound to reach max volume. So it's kind of like a slow slope. It's a gradual rise in vocals.
So I got this 007.
So it's going to be right at the beginning. You hear how soft it comes in here.
So I got this 007
versus here.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend.
Now when it comes to release, that is the downslope. So after sustain, it's how long the sound takes to dissipate. If your release is too slow, this is 4 seconds, you'll start to hear overlap and crunch in your vocals because it's taken too long for your vocals to dissipate. So we'll do like 128 milliseconds.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a
and we'll do 400 or 4,000.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said rounds come from Spain, but the aim comes from heaven. The ship is ebbing.
So as you can see here.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said rounds come from Spain, but the aim comes from heaven. The ship is ebbing. And
so as you can see, if your release is 1 millisecond, it gets super duper crunchy. Versus if it's at 4,000 milliseconds, which is 4 seconds, it's way smoother on the release.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said rounds come from Spain, but the aim comes from heaven. The ship is ebbing.
So when it comes to your threshold, the threshold pertains to at what volume will the sound be perceivable by ear, and will the compression begin to take place. So at negative 20 dB, you'll start to get compression. At an 8.0 ratio, that'll get increased gain by 5.3. Then it'll be your attack. How fast does that initial sound reach its peak? And then how fast does it take to release that sound? So now I'm going to open a transient processor just so we can see another version of this. So you have your attack and your release here.
So I got this 007.
And I just want you to listen to it for this one.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said rounds come from Spain, but
you can kind of hear with your headphones on, you'll hear crackling on the low end.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said,
and we'll put attack on max.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said rounds come from.
And you hear crackling, but you hear more openness on the high end. So if we go to the middle.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend.
And we'll do the same thing on release.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from...
And you hear it sounds muffled because the release is almost instant in this case. So as soon as it hits max volume, it'll sustain briefly and then it'll begin the release.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said rounds come from Spain, but the aim comes from heaven.
And as you hear on max release, it kind of, you get a reverb effect slightly because the previous words and the new words coming in are taking so long to release that they're causing resonance, and you're getting an echoing and a chambering effect. So you hear that reverb.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said rounds come from Spain, but the aim comes from heaven.
So it just really depends on what style you want. If you want it to be more concise, just one line of vocals, then you would want a release and an attack where your vocals are singular. You don't want any crispiness on the high or low end, and then you don't want any reverb through this compressor. That way you can add reverb with a different plugin.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said rounds come from Spain, but the aim comes from heaven. The ship is ebbing.
And so I have my own other layer on top of that.
So I got this 007 Smith & Wesson from a reverend. He said rounds come from Spain, but the aim comes from heaven. The ship is ebbing.
And that is how you incorporate attack and release, how it affects vocals, and how all that comes together with your compressor. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I mess with attack and release. That's how I use the ASDR chart when it comes to vocals and sounds in general. For me personally, when it comes to the compressor, I usually leave it on default. So let's go back to default. I usually leave it at 15 and release at 200 milliseconds. I never touch them, so that's why I didn't put them in the initial understanding your, compressor video. But yeah, that is it. If you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up, send me a message, leave a comment, and I will get to you. You have a good day. Deuces.